Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is video number 2 of 2. We didn't, not saying we didn't, we did do video number 1 earlier on today. So if you haven't seen that already, go and check that out in the corner right here. You can check out what we spoke about earlier on and then head back over here to complete this one. Now, we're going to start off with a bit of banter. It's needed after what we've just witnessed. And who does it involve? This flipping guy. He's lost his head, as George has said on it absolutely correctly. He has lost his head. And he's lost his legs, as far as I'm concerned, because... What did we witness tonight with Belgium against Slovenia? Slovenia, right? No, Slovakia. Slovakia, my bad. I get those two confused all the time. Potato, potato, you know? It's crazy. But anyway, Slovakia beating Belgium 1-0. Big up to Slovakia. Huge congratulations. I would say deserved. Belgium are just a weird team. I put this in my Euros predictions. I just don't think they're going to do well. It's obvious. Belgium are a great team on paper, but that's all they've ever been. A great team on paper. They've got this so-called golden generation that they're now transitioning from, and they just can't get a team. They have zero chemistry, but a great bunch of players. So it's a weird one. But Lukaku tonight, oh my God. Oh, no, you know what? I have to say this, and this is why I'm starting with this. Because, listen, Chelsea Football Club, write it off. He's a write-off. He's a write-off. Write him off. That's it. You know when you crash a car? I've never had that experience to crash a car badly. I've had a collision once, but it was my fault. But you crash a car, and the damage is so bad that no insurer on the planet can go, yep, we'll cover that. Nah, it's a write-off. It's done. Game over. Say goodbye. It's finished. Chelsea, listen, just forget it. We ain't making money from this guy. Just end it. Just, I don't know, do what you got to do. Give him to the Wolves. I'll talk about Wolves later, actually mentioning Wolves. Give him to the Swans. Give him to, I don't know. Find a place for this guy and stick him there. If it cost us £2.50 and a packet of crisps, right? Do it. What are we going to do? This guy is just, he's a write-off. He's a write-off. Today was a game where he had about 8,000 mistakes, right? About 7,000 of them were missed chances from like 1 yard out. I'm exaggerating here on purpose, but you get the gist. How many missed opportunity did this guy have? You can tell he came from Chelsea. But it's not just that. He missed time after time after time. And then the one time he does actually put it into the net, he's offside from 0.2 yards out. Only this guy can be offside from 0.2 yards out from the goal line. How do you do that? It's harder not to do. It's harder not to do. How has he done that? Incredible. On top of that, after he didn't decide to read the line and figure out that he was offside despite being that close to the goal line, the one time actually arrives where he's done nothing wrong. He's actually done nothing wrong. Yes, this guy did, for one occasion in that game, nothing wrong. And he scored. And he put the ball in the net. And it was a good finish. But it still didn't count. Why? Because if he's not screwing himself over the numerous amount of times that he did, his teammate will with a handball. It summed everything up for Lukaku tonight, and hence why he was reacting. He was reacting like this. Listen, we're not going to make any money from this guy. I've come to terms with it. So Chelsea, forget it. Just forget it. We just write him off. Let's just pretend it never happened. Yeah, just pretend. We threw 100 million or close to 100 million out of the window, basically. Let's just pretend we didn't have 100 million in the first place. Let's just forget it. Now, let me know your thoughts down below in relation to that. Let's move to where Chelsea are going to put some money. And we're going to start off with Fabrizio Romano. Now, I've got a bone to pick with Fabrizio Romano today. But we will get to that. Let's hear what he's had to say in this case, and then that case will come later. Yes, it's to do with the Wolves. If you got that reference from earlier on, you know where I'm going. Let's read this. Chelsea are really pushing on Elise, trying to agree personal terms. Next days will be important to know what Chelsea will do for the player. This was confirmed. He was talking with Ben Jacobs, saying Chelsea are really pushing to reach an agreement on personal terms for Michael Elise. This is the mission for Chelsea. They are in negotiations and had contacts with Palace a few days ago. So Chelsea are pushing on this one, and Elise is the top target. Okay, I guess we'll find out what's going to happen, right? But adding to that, Ben Jacobs did put out this. Elise gets a percentage from the release clause. So that makes personal terms a bit more time consuming if Chelsea plan to present a different offer to Palace rather than trigger the clause outright. See, now this is where, and I can sympathise with this one. I think this is true. This is why it's imperative and why I've said Chelsea need to act quick. Move fast. Because it's not going to be an easy deal to just do. Especially if you don't just trigger the release clause, which we won't, because we want to add a little bit more in order to dictate the payment structure. And then when that comes into play, not only is it that, but now we've got Elise that gets a percentage from this release clause. So technically, we're triggering this release clause, we're paying him some money. So there's all sorts of things that need to be discussed here. There's 3 teams at the table, not Chelsea and Palace. It's Chelsea, Palace and Elise. 3 stakeholders in this. So it's not going to be an easy deal to do outright. Hence why we have to move ASAP, as soon as possible. Move with this, and it does actually seem like Chelsea are doing that. So for that, fair play, because they already do have things in motion. They've done exactly what I've asked for. So in that regard, fair enough. But I hope it means we get this deal done sooner rather than later, before any other team decides to come in and cause havoc, like we've witnessed previously. With Liverpool, for example, coming in for Caicedo, and look what that caused. We had to pay not only over the odds, we had to sell an arm and a leg to get that flipping guy in, but that happened. And today, we've seen what happens when you don't get your guy. And we're about to come to that later, like I've said. Anyway, that's the latest on Elise. Let me know your thoughts down below. Here's the latest from Ben Jacobs, funnily enough, on the striker situation. There is substance to links for Guirassy, while Evan Ferguson cannot be ruled out if Chelsea do not sign John Duran. Now, this is what we spoke about earlier on in video number 1, was the whole John Duran saga, right? And it does seem like there seems to be I wouldn't say a stalemate, but a lot of indecisiveness at the moment on Chelsea's part as to who is going to be put in the swap deal? Who are we going to put in the deal? Like, what's happening? Do we really want John Duran that bad? Do we not? Like, are we going to move on? Are we not? It seems like everything's in a bit in the balance right now. So I'm just saying, like I mentioned in video number 1, I want Guirassy, please. With or without John Duran. If we get Guirassy and Duran, cool. If we get Guirassy only, cool. If we get Duran only, what are we doing? You get the gist. So that's basically summed up. Evan Ferguson, again, I think that would be a lot of money and a bit of a risk as well. Bit of a risk. It's actually a big risk. It's another young player that we hope is going to be flipping it. So I have to say, he does look good. But Evan Ferguson, you just know, will be that guy that we just decide to put as the main number 9. We just would. At least with John Duran, it's a little bit of like, is he ready? Is he not? Like, with Evan Ferguson, you just know we will probably do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So, and it would be a lot of money. But for Guirassy now, low cost, low risk. And I think a decent output. So, I'm completely on board with that. Anyway, we'll see what happens in regards to that. Let me know down below your thoughts. Would you take Guirassy? Would you take Evan Ferguson? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know below. Now, this is where we get to where it's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. The hijackers have been hijacked. Yes, I never thought I'd come in and say that, but it's true. Here's David Ornstein. Wolves reach an agreement with Sport Recife to sign Pedro Lima, 17-year-old right-back linked to Chelsea, but Wolves strike club-to-club deal and personal terms 5 + 1 year contract. If all goes to plan, Brazil under-17 international will do medical and complete move by July 1st. Just to confirm that as well, he actually started following Wolves on Instagram. So anyone that's keeping up to date with that. But here's where Fabrizio, I have a problem. Why did Fabrizio put out false information? If it was never a here we go, why did he say here we go? Here it is. Chelsea verbally agreed to sign Brazil 2006-born right-back Pedro Lima from Sport Recife. Here we go. Key detail, the deal will be done via Blueco side Strasbourg. €7 million fixed fee, €3.5 million add-ons, and players agent set to travel for final details. Well, it's not a here we go then. What are we doing? Actually, not what we doing, what are you doing? Fabrizio, you've messed up on this one. I'm sorry. You've messed up. Earlier today, that was a few days ago, by the way. Earlier today, he put this out. Pedro Lima not expected to play for Sport Recife today as Chelsea are closing in on the deal via Strasbourg. All documents are being reviewed for 2006-born right-back to join Blueco Group on a €7 million deal plus €3.5 million add-ons. That was earlier today. He put that out. Or I'll cut him some slack. That was last night. If it makes a difference. Sorry, it was last night. And then what happens? This. He puts out official. Wolves have hijacked the deal and signed Pedro Lima from Sport Recife despite deal verbally agreed with Blueco Group last week. Sport Recife announced deal agreed with Wolves for 2006-born Brazilian right-back. Club statement from Sport Recife confirms deal in place. So, out of nowhere. But that's not a good look. Because a here we go should actually be a here we go. If it's not 100% over the line, it just shouldn't be a here we go. And this is where I back up with what I said a few days ago. It doesn't seem like... I think this is what's happened to Fabrizio. He's become too big. That's what's happened. And it's inevitable. We become too big, too known, and you've got your feet now in all sorts of different pools, right? You no longer have that exclusivity like you once had. And I think that's what's happened with Fabrizio. Before, he used to be able to get those inside scoops and all sorts, but now he's become so massive in the football world that that's it. That ingredient that he had of being the guy to get in, well, no, everyone knows who you are, mate. So it's not going to be as exclusive as it once used to be. And I think that's what he is suffering from now. I think now he comes out just to basically add that confirmation from someone else's, which he does credit other people for. I'll give him that. He does credit other people when he gets a scoop from someone else. But that he's just become that guy now. So I don't want to say this because I feel like it's probably a bit too much, but when people say he's a tap-in merchant, it is now with time starting to look more and more that way, although I still do think he does a lot of work, but he's not that exclusive guy anymore. So David Ornstein, though, has been someone that has, I think, does a better job in relation to the exclusiveness. So it's a weird one, but basically, to sum it up, Pedro Lima's going to Wolves. And not to... I don't think... Was it ever meant to be Chelsea anyway? Or was it Strasbourg? It's the same block, basically, you know? But you get the gist. Anyway, that's the latest. Pedro Lima's going to Wolves. Let me know your thoughts down below. To be honest, in terms of Pedro Lima as a player, I'm not bothered. You know? But to see how he would have developed with Strasbourg and all of that, yeah, that's definitely something that would have been interesting to see. But we'll see how he does with Wolves now. He's coming into the Premier League. Well, go for it, basically. Go for it. We'll see what happens. So we'll see how he keeps up. And maybe if he does blow up, Chelsea will put in a 75 million bid in 2 years. Anyway, we'll see what happens. He'll do his developing there instead. Now, Fabrizio's come out with the latest from Brighton. Here it is. Understand Brighton have made contact to start talks over Somerville deal. Not an easy one with many clubs keen, but Brighton have started initial talks to explore his possibility. Liverpool and Chelsea have been monitoring him in recent months. Still an open race. I'm only mentioning this one because, yeah, Chelsea were linked to this player before. And I wanted to get your guys' scoop on it. What do you think? Somerville. When we're talking about our left wing situation, I feel like Chelsea need to address the left wing situation. I'm not comfortable with Sterling and Mudryk. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not. What do you think of Somerville? I think Somerville's a good player, but very raw. I think he can cause a lot of threat, but his execution might not be there because he's not performed at that highest level before. Is he worth a punt though? Especially from Leeds, who are going to remain in the Championship and not get promoted. It's a good incentive to go in for a player like that. For a club like Brighton, absolutely makes sense. But do you see enough quality there for a club like Chelsea or even Liverpool, who have been linked with him too, to go in for him and for Chelsea to fix their left wing situation with him? Or do you have any other top names in mind that you would like to see in Chelsea instead? Let me know what you think down below. I wanted to ask that question to you guys, and hence why we're talking Somerville. So let me know down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one or brand new two. Depending on what happens, we'll see what goes down and I will be here to discuss it. Also hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the notification bell. If I've already said that, what am I doing? Check out the socials on screen and in the description. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you tomorrow. Take care and peace.